This is the brand new Michelin Pilot Sport S5 NO, designed for a GT3 RS and 992. I've been lucky enough to try it in the dry and wet. But before I give you my thoughts, why does this exist? Well, if you're lucky enough to own a GT3 RS, you currently have the choice of these three tyres. The Cup 2, the Cup 2R, and the Pilot Alpine 5, which is a winter tyre. But what if you want to use your GT3 RS in the fall, in the spring, where the roads get wet, or maybe you want to do some damp, wet, cooler track days? Well, it wasn't really covered, which is why Porsche and Michelin have co-developed this tyre. They've done some really clever things. The largest part of the tread pattern is a high silica compound for wet performance, and it has wider, deeper grooves than maybe they would have ordinarily put into the S5 to give that extra wettability. Around the wet handling track at Michelin's proving ground, this tyre is 11 seconds a lap faster than the Cup 2, which is significant, but I found, as they're saying, it's just so much easier to drive. Obviously, in standing water, this has a huge advantage because it's got way more water dispersion than this. But also the progressivity at the limit and how the tyre steps out and slides, especially on the rear axle, is just vastly superior. I imagine the average person would probably be 20, 30 seconds a lap faster on this compared to this, just because of how much more confidence it gives you. Around dry handling, well, this is super fascinating because when it was my turn to go out on the dry handling lap, it started raining. So I went out on the Cup 2, did a bunch of laps, and even though the temperature was around 10 degrees and we were pushing on, I couldn't get the front up to temperature, and it was just understeer everywhere. And like when the rear wanted to step out, you had to be awake to catch it. I stuck this on, we weren't timing, but I imagine I would have been faster on this because it was just easier, the front switched on more quickly, and the progressiveness at the front and rear axle, yes, you did lose a little bit of steering precision, but everything else was so much easier to drive in these damp, greasy conditions on this tyre. I was really thankful I got the opportunity on this. Porsche's test driver is around a second a lap around the dry handling track. Admittedly, it's only about a 50-second lap here in a GT3 RS, but only about a second peak lap down on this. So it's not a slouch, but obviously as you do more and more laps, the heat management of this isn't quite up to the standard of a pure track tyre. But 11 seconds a lap round a wet handling circuit. I imagine if you want to use your GT3 RS in a winter climate that doesn't get a lot of snow or doesn't get really cold, like if you're always above freezing and you just see a lot of wet over this winter, this is an excellent option if you're going to be a hero and use your car year round. So anyway, thoroughly enjoyable experience. The 992 GT3 RS is of course unbelievably good. And with this tyre, oh, by the way, look how sexy this is like third generation, I think, of the Michelin Black Velvet. So it's even deeper and darker and nice. But yeah, this tyre is a very good option should you wish to extend your car's usage period.